PJ Tucker, welcome back. You are someone that is not like anybody else. Why is individuality, though, so important to you? You have such a distinct identity. Why is it so important?
I don't know. I guess you don't even think about it. Just be yourself. I think that's what makes the world a beautiful place. No two people are the same. Everybody has their own thing. They like different things. And I love people being open to be able to express that.
Nick Nurse is a hot topic of conversation today.
Of course.
You guys overlapped in Toronto, albeit briefly. What were your impressions of him then, and how excited are you to play for him now?
Yeah, I've known Nick for a while. I think the guys are going to love him. He's a player's coach. He's smart. He knows a lot about the game. He keeps it really simple, but at the same time, be able to mix some things in. So I think he'll be a good injection into the team.
People in Philly embraced you really quickly, probably because on the floor you play hard, you're no nonsense, right? But then I think in the playoffs you made a really strong impression based on how much you were pushing your teammates and how vocal you are with them.
Yep.
So when you think about the guys that you've sort of started to grow, you've only been here a year, but I think about Paul Reed.
Yeah.
How has he grown, and why is your tutelage of Paul important to you?
I think it's like with our older game. When you get older and you've been around for a long time, part of my job is to help young guys kind of navigate through different seasons and their careers and try to help them out as much as possible. I think as a veteran, not too much gets talked about it, like the actual day in, day out, how that goes, but it's a process and it's something I enjoy, like especially when you get older to see guys like Paul end up being able to really help us out in some big games. And be able to lock in and focus on that, it's pretty cool. So it's one of the best parts of the job.
You've pushed Joel pretty vocally too, and you did it in the regular season. It got him his first MVP. You guys had that sort of back and forth in the playoffs that became pretty famous. What's it been like to be able to be in his ear, understanding where he's at in his game right now?
I think it's just a level of respect that me and him have for each other. He knows anything I say is for the better of him and our team, and for us to be as good as we can be. I'm a very unselfish person, but selfishly, I like to push him, especially because of how good he is and all the things that he can do individually and for our team. So it's something that you kind of got to go through to get older to be able to have that kind of interaction with somebody like Joe. But it's something again that I take pride in.
The team's a little bit older this year, and having conversations today, some of the new faces have had long journeys kind of like yours. Nick coached for 30 years before he got an NBA head coaching job. Patrick Beverley went overseas just like you did. That's sort of been a theme in the conversations I've had today. When you think back on your version of that journey, what are the moments that stand out as sort of the most formative moments or hardest moments as you built up to this place?
That's tough. That's a good question. I honestly, you don't know how your journey's gonna go, right? You kind of just take a leap of faith and do all you can and work as hard as you can, and wherever comes from that, you kind of just deal with it and keep navigating. For me, playing in Europe for 4 years, those years were so essential to me being the player that I am now, and I have been. My story's not the same if I don't have those years, and I don't think I'm even here right now if I don't do that. And that's something that goes through my mind. Even to this day, 19 years later, it's like the process to get into where you want to be and to keep striving, even at this point, to get better and to win a championship.
When you retire one day in many, many years, how do you want teammates, people that you worked with, coaches, how do you want people to remember PJ Tucker? What do you want them to say about you when you stop dribbling?
I would say just that I'm probably the most selfless player that they probably play with. It's never about me. I'm all about winning. Personal stats and things like that don't really matter to me. It's more about seeing my teammates do well and seeing us win together. There's nothing like that camaraderie what comes with winning together, and it's relationships for life. So through your journey, it's like the best thing. So I think that's probably the number one thing I would want my teammates to say.
Last teammate that I wanted to ask you about. Last year, towards the beginning of the season, you talked about wanting to teach Tyrese Maxey to be mean. How's that going?
That's not, you know what? I've almost gotten to the point of giving up. I don't give up on anything, but Tyrese just doesn't have it in him. He's just a really nice guy. He's just a good kid. You can't help. He's just a good kid. He's raised really well. He's just a good kid. So he's not mean. He can't do it.
Look, you did your best,
Can't
you
do
know?
it. You can't
It
do
is
it.
what it is. Personal question for the last one. This is one I have to ask. How was Fashion Week? What's it like?
Oh,
Tell me
man.
about the vibes. I need to know everything.
This year was for New York this year, it was the first year, I think, since COVID where it's been fully back. It was really back this year with some amazing shows. It was a lot of pop-ups, it was a lot going on. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I had a lot of fun, met a lot of people. And yeah, I just love it. It's just the evolution of it all. It's just all fun.
Thank you so much, PJ, but you're not done. Rapid fire round. Ready?
Oh boy.
The answers to all of the following questions are one of your teammates' names.
Okay.
Okay? You have to trade closets with a teammate for the season. Whose closet do you take over?
None of them.
Nope, you have to pick. That's not a teammate's name.
No, that's not. No.
It's a cool opportunity. You have fashionable teammates.
I don't. I don't.
Which one would you least hate?
Ooh. Oh, this is really hard. I'm telling you, this is really bad because I really don't know. We don't have a lot of good. JH.
Whose closet would you least like to inherit?
Joel Embiid, number 1, 2, and 3.
Who would make the best babysitter?
Tyrese Maxey, 100%.
Who would you trust to cook you a 3-course meal?
Tobias Harris. I'm gonna roll with Tobias.
If
Be
you
healthy.
guys took over as the wait staff at a restaurant for one night, who would get the most tips?
Tyrese Maxey, 1,000%.
If the NBA implemented a roommate policy this season, you had to have a roommate on the road at every stop, who would you least hate rooming with?
That's about as bad as the fashion question. Fert. I'm rolling with Fert.
If the apocalypse hit, who would survive the longest?
Me.
If you guys all had superpowers for 5 hours, who would solve the most crimes?
I'm gonna roll with Tobias.
Who do you think has the most unread text messages?
Joel Embiid.
You got stranded on the side of the road and you only can make one phone call. Your phone's on 1%. Who are you trusting to pick up and help?
Ooh. Tyrese Maxey.
Who's the best trash talker?
Oh, we don't have a lot of trash talkers.
One of your new teammates has been far and away the most answered to this question.
Pat.
Who would make the best NFL quarterback?
That's a good one. I'm gonna roll with Fert.
Matchup you're most looking forward to this year?
Oh, that's a good one. Always enjoy Tyrese and Mel.
Oh, playing against each other.
You in practice? You
Yeah.
said they're all my teammates'
That's
names.
actually, you know what, PJ, that's a great point, and you get to use that as your answer, and you're done.
What were you saying,
I'm
though?
saying what other team, what matchup?
You said
game.
all the
No, you're
answers
right.
were my teammates' names.
I'm falling back. You're right. I'm wrong.
Oh.
And you don't have to answer that question. PJ Tucker, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.